Toronto Maple Leafs have made multiple moves ahead of tonight's game against the Nashville Predators, and a couple of them are a little bit surprising, and one in particular surrounding Jake McCabe is a little bit concerning. So I'm going to break that down, as well as discuss some other updates we have surrounding the Toronto Maple Leafs. Stay tuned for all that in this episode, but before we get into it, quick reminder, hit that subscribe button. If you're a part of the percentage that aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Leafs content. It's a very busy month, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. But Darius, a lot going on right now. The Leafs, of course, play tonight. They play a lot this month, as we've discussed in the channel here in ad nauseum. But there's a few updates that are going on, and one particularly involving Jake McCabe, and we also have one involving Alex Nylander and just some other general updates. Let's start with Alex Nylander. So Alex Nylander sits tonight with Ryan Reaves, of course, making his return from his suspension. And when Berube was asked, and memories of interesting Carlisle and Reimer this morning when Berube was asked about playing of Alex Nylander. Just okay. He's done some things. He had some scoring opportunities early on. He's a skilled guy that scores, I'd say fair. He sits tonight with Reaves back. So I just want to get your thoughts on this first. It's an interesting thing. Alex Nylander, we suspected he was going to be the odd man out at this point of the, he hasn't played great, quite frankly. So Ryan Reaves gets the opportunity to come back in, and I mean, Reaves hasn't had a great season either, but he has a bit more of a defined role at this point than Alex Nylander, especially in that bottom six. What are your thoughts on this?
I appreciate the comparison from Terry this morning. I kind of forgot that this happened like 10 years ago or 12 years ago, whenever it was. But the difference is that Reimer was a difference maker. And obviously the infamous quote from Randy Carlisle where he was like, yeah, he's just okay. So very similar this morning, I guess, in that way. That obviously Berube saying that Alex Nylander was just okay, and he has been just okay. Like everybody can see it, right? It's no surprise. And we kind of knew what he was going to bring to the lineup when he was called up. There's been a lot of injuries, and he's come in and done, pretty much what we thought he was going to do. Maybe score. He's shown some offensive prowess as well, because that's his game, right? It's an offensive game, but he's not getting enough minutes in the lineup to really show off what he can do offensively, and he doesn't really bring much to the table other than that anyway. So he's going to come out for Ryan Reaves, not, one for one necessarily. The lines are going to look a little bit different, and we'll get a glimpse of that closer to game time. But yeah, he hasn't been enough of a difference maker. And Ryan Reaves, we knew when he came back from his suspension, he was going to get into the lineup. We know that as long as he's a Toronto Maple Leaf, he's going to play a lot of games, and he's going to miss a couple games here and there. But the fact that he's missed 5 already, he's coming back into the lineup. So it's going to be interesting to see how the lines play out. But I don't think it's too much of a surprise that Nylander's coming out, but I think it does say something about how well a guy like Fraser Mitten has been playing as well. So there's a lot to take from that as well.
Yeah, you've seen great play out of Minton, Grabenkin, and yeah, it is a funny Carlisle and Reimer flashback, I guess. But it's interesting. I think Nylander can be good. I don't know what the future holds for him with the Leafs, because again, if he can't just get sent back down to the Marlies, he would have to go and clear waivers. And like you mentioned, maybe there's something in his, where other teams don't claim him. But I would suspect another team would claim him if he got put on waivers. There are some teams that need goal scoring, and albeit he hasn't done it at the NHL level this season, he's done it in the past, and he's certainly done it in the AHL, and that's why he was called up in the first place. And let's also touch on Ryan Reaves a little bit before we move on to the Jake McCabe update about exact thing that took place with the hit that led to his suspension. He said, just took a couple inches too bad of an angle and caught him. It's an unfortunate incident that if I'm a second later, I can catch body, but obviously it's something you don't want to see. Split second too early. And he basically, it's an interesting one here. The reason I've stuck around so long is that I don't take suspensions and I'm not in the box a lot. I try to play within the rules of the game. So when something like that happens and a hit gets away from you, I don't want to see anybody lay on the ice with a head injury, obviously. And he also came out and said, hey, my goal out there is to inflict pain, is what he said. And I mean, it is pretty true, but legally is kind of what he said. He wants to inflict pain legally. So do you have any final thoughts to put a bow tie here on this Ryan Reaves situation? He's back. I think he's going to have a role with this team. I don't think it's going to be an every game role, but we're going to see tonight against the Nashville Predators that he is going to factor in to the lineup. And if things get physical, at least Ryan Reaves will be there to hopefully step in.
Well, I think sometimes, some Leaf games don't get physical because he is there, right? Other teams know that they can't run around. I've been on the record saying that before, that I think that's mostly the reason he's there, not to fight all the time, but if things get out of hand, he's going to fight. So he's going to continue to do what he does. I think yesterday and today, I mean, the last couple of days have been all-timer quotes for the Leafs. Berube yesterday coming out and saying that he hates computers and basically would rather write the lineup in as if it was 20 years ago and stuff. So some all-timer quotes yesterday, and he wants to continue to inflict pain, legal pain, which that's what he's here to do. He's here to throw body checks and have a physical presence. So he'll be back in the lineup. He's doing his thing. And I don't think, he intentionally tried to do that, but it was a bit of a dangerous play. But obviously we broke that down when it happened. It seems like ages ago at this point because they haven't played too many games. But he's back in the lineup. He's going to do his thing, and I think he's effective in his role and what he does.
Yeah, very effective. And speaking of effective, one of the better defensemen for the Leafs this year, Jacob McCabe, is missing a second straight game. He won't be playing tonight. And Berube just said he's not feeling right. He's not feeling good enough to play. And this was a little bit of a concern because once it happened the night of, we said, hey, they came out and said, shouldn't be a problem. He should be good to go for next game, which is, of course, on Monday. He didn't play Monday, and then they said he should be good for the next game, and now it's Wednesday. He's not feeling right, not feeling good enough to play. And I think I said it at the time in the video. I'm hoping this doesn't compound into something that we've seen a few times, even alluding back to the Austin Matthews injury where they said he was going to be fine and then continues to not play. So obviously he got the puck to the back of the head. Hopefully he's doing okay. But back-to-back games now where they're not going to play, and they're playing a lot. So this is just, it's only 4 days in between the in between games here, or between the injury and the second game. Do you have any? I think he's going to need to come back hopefully at some point soon. He's pretty integral here. They luckily have Yanni Hakanpää and Philip Myers, guys who can slide in, but a little bit concerning missing a second straight game here.
Yeah, he's been really good. And I think there's a couple things here. Like the Leafs have been playing really well, so they can afford for a couple guys to be on IR a little bit longer than they need, like Domi, Nyes, like get back to 100%. So same thing with McCabe. If he's not 100%, let him get there because they've been playing well. A lot of guys are coming up, filling in roles, and they're fine with that. And on the other side of things, I mean, I am a little bit concerned because of the wording. You know, I wouldn't be concerned if they said it's precautionary and maybe the training staff is keeping him out just in case, but it sounds more like he isn't feeling well, like he can't play, is not feeling 100%. So hopefully it doesn't linger too much longer and he can be back. But Berube also came out and said that, he's a warrior and he's hoping that he's back on the weekend for one of the games on the weekend. So I don't think it's anything that should be long term, but hopefully it doesn't linger over the next couple of games.
Yeah, back-to-back on Friday and Saturday, which we'll get into in a second here, but hopefully he can make his way back soon. And yeah, he's just not feeling good. So whether that is, again, I don't know, it's concussion, whether it's just natural pain, he has some sort of injury. Obviously, it's going to be up in the air. Hopefully they give some more of an update soon. But amongst other updates is Joseph Woll. He is going to be the starter tonight, which we kind of had a feeling about. They're kind of going back and forth at this point because they're both playing very well. So again, Woll starts tonight. You'd assume Stolarz probably starts on Friday with Woll going again on Saturday, but you could also mix those around. And as you look ahead to the schedule here, again, you have the Predators on Wednesday and then the Capitals and Penguins on Friday and Saturday. So you want to hope to win at least two out of three of these games, maybe even win all three here. And I think ultimately Joseph Woll, it's kind of exciting. You hope to get Jake McCabe back for one of these games to help give some breaks for the blue line at this point. I'm sure there maybe will rotate Philip Myers and Yanni Hakanpää at some point here regarding Wednesday and then Friday and Saturday if McCabe's not available. But we also see Joseph Woll take the net tonight.
Yeah, and on Yanni Hakanpää, like you mentioned, he would have to be activated from IR, which he can be at this point. So that's something to look at over the next couple of days. We'll see how that progresses. But Joseph Woll, we talked about on stream the other day. Like I was having a feeling that they're probably just going to alternate goalies throughout the month at this point. They play so often. Their longest break is over Christmas, obviously Christmas Eve, Christmas, and Boxing Day. So I think they're probably just going to alternate goalies. Although, I mean, Woll's going tonight, and we kind of expected that. But at the same time, he played really well against the Capitals last time. So I wonder if they take a look at that, play him again, and then Stolarz will get Saturday. But I don't think it really matters. They're both playing fantastic. They're the best tandem in the league right now, statistically and obviously emotionally for Leaf fans. They obviously, everyone thinks, the Leafs have the best goalie tandem right now. So it's been really, really good. And it doesn't really matter who plays at this point, I don't think. But I do think Woll played great against the Capitals last time, so it's going to be interesting to see. But I would imagine that they're probably just going to alternate throughout the month.
Yeah, hopefully they can keep it up going, and it's going to be interesting. Going to be very interesting to see. And quick thing before I wrap up here, we have some Nations Cup, lines information, and regarding the Toronto Maple Leafs, it's there's been some fans who are fired up on some degree. There's been some about John Tavares. We're seeing, of course, William Nylander on Team Sweden here. Darius, does any of these, now that these have been released, anything jump out to you on the paper? Of course, you see Mitch Marner here on the Team Canada. You don't see John Tavares on there. You don't see a couple of other guys. It's intriguing, and also you don't see Anthony Stolarz as a obviously not going to be here. He's not Canadian, but he didn't make the team either. So, do you have any thoughts on this?
One thing I wanted to bring up is they haven't been released yet, but they're going to be released today as this video comes out. The official rosters will be released today, and we'll probably have some content on that at some point. But Craig Button, these are his lists, and he has Chris Tanev there for Team Canada, and I think that that's really cool. Like Chris Tanev's getting some love that he deserves because he's been playing so well. Obviously, Mitch Marner is going to be on Team Canada. There's a lot of talk right now that John Tavares is not going to make it, which I think is a little disappointing. It makes sense that he's not going to be there, but it's disappointing. He's had such a great season, especially at his age. He's turned back the clock. Like he's going to be well over a point a game at this rate. So a little bit disappointing, but obviously Nylander is going to be there. Mitch Marner is going to make the team. Austin Matthews will obviously be the first line center for Team USA. So some praise here for the Maple Leafs, and I think that's really cool. But we'll get the official rosters at some point today.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, and I think Button did a fine job here. I don't think Tavares is going to make it, and of course on Team USA we're going to see Austin Matthews, and shout out to William Nylander as well, is probably going to make it, and I'd assume with the way he's been playing, 15 goals this year, he's going to be on the first line. But let us know down below what your thoughts are on all this. A lot of news coming out, so make sure to hit the subscribe button, and we'll also be live following tonight's game, so make sure to check that out. We'll see you later.